Hey everyone, glad you can make it here for our Friday review show. Hope you've had an amazing week up to this point, especially if you're joining in day of the show this Friday. We have so much to go over. Really one of my favorite shows. Yes, I love starting the week with the Motivation and Mindset Mondays that we will recap today. But I also love being able to kind of explore what's gone on during the week and always inside of our practice, and I'm sure your life so much has been going on. So I always like to start the show with a recap before we get to our research. We've got product reviews today. We've got book reviews today. And like I said, some great research that you're going to want to stay tuned for. But before we get into that, I always like to share with you kind of what's been going on in my life, in the practice, and really what we're trying to do, the movement that we are trying to move forward in this world, which is really open sourcing functional medicine, open sourcing integrative health. And that means always pushing the envelope as to what we can do for our community, but also what we can do for the world. Like, what can we do in terms of messaging for the world? So a couple things that just have been really catching on that I want to make sure that you are aware of is, well, there's two things. The first is that we've really tried to help people. We're almost at episode 2000 of the Cabral concept. So if you go to stephencabral.com/podcast, you can really now narrow down what you're looking to learn the most about. Yes, I mean, if you want to know a true, functional medicine education, integrative health education, and you're not able to become a certified health coach with IHP, at least go back, tune into all those episodes. Will it take you some time? Yes, of course. Will you learn, more, in my opinion, more that you could learn in 20 years by listening to those 2000 shows? Let's say you listen to, 4 a day. How long would that take? It's still going to take a while, right? It's probably going to take about a year and a half or so. But imagine though that you'll pick up, in my opinion, 20 years that it's taken me to learn all of this. And it's just me learning it from others, trying to pass it on to you. But let's say you don't want to go through all the shows. Really what you can do is you can look at a topic like intermittent fasting, a topic like Ayurveda, a topic like digestion, a topic like hormones. And what I do is I take all of the shows, not all of them, but like the top 20 or 30 shows in that category, and I put them all in there, such as thyroid. So you can really learn a lot about one individual topic in just a week's time by going through all those shows. So hopefully that's been helpful. And then in terms of EquiLife, we've got some big things coming end of this year and towards 2022. And I know how crazy that sounds that, it's like, 2022. It's only, but in the grand scheme of things, it's 6 months away. And, I'm holding a product in my hand right here, and I'll talk about it in a moment. But, a product like this, it takes us, when you're formulating it, it probably takes us about 3 months to 4 months for myself and I call them chief scientists on our team to be able to go back and forth in the research to really dial in what we want in terms of dosage. I always know what I want in terms of ingredients, but then we dial in the dosage and obviously, we need to then send that out to bid with our manufacturers, which are all FDA certified facilities that all do third-party testing, that are reliable. And then to make the product, people don't know this, but it takes about 16 weeks. So 16 weeks is about 4 months. So you're looking at 6 to 7 months minimum. A product like Fatlocity, which is right behind me right there, you can kind of see if I move that microphone, there it is. That product took about 2 years. So, I mean, these are not off the shelf. No offense against, a lot of the Amazon based products out there, but they're meant to just be cheap, inexpensive. They don't really do much, but cheap, inexpensive supplements. And for the most, some of them will be fine, right? It's no big deal, but not a great quality product. It takes time to create these things. It takes time to go through the research. And then also from what we've seen in clinical practice. Anyway, all that to say, we're creating things now that you won't even see until early 2022, but it's I have a remarkable team. I can't say that enough. I don't say it enough to them, but hopefully you're listening right now. And I think there's about 50 of us strong now. And again, we wouldn't be here as a team without each one of you. So much appreciated to all of you. And speaking of the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, we are now rolling into July, and more specifically, what we're at July 3rd. So July 2nd is today. So we're looking at, of course, if you're in the US, enjoying some warmer weather, maybe enjoying the 4th of July weekend. I know our friends in the Australia-based part of the world, New Zealand and the southern and eastern hemisphere, you actually just moved into winter about a month ago. So still, you pretty amazing climate. So I don't think you can complain too much. But for me, at least, I spent the last 12 weeks in the sunny south, getting vitamin D, really enjoying being outside and having a lot of fun every day with my daughters, swimming or just doing outdoor-based activities. Absolutely remarkable. But now I get to spend the summer. I'm very fortunate to get to spend the summer. I have a virtual-based employer myself, and I spend that in between Boston and Maine. So it's just an amazing, amazing time of the year. Really enjoy it. And I hope that you're doing the same. So hopefully you're enjoying that weekend of yours coming up. Now this month too, and over August, really one of the best times if you have a little bit of free time, a great time to join us over at the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, because we are certifying the next generation of health coaches. These health coaches are going to be way beyond where I started, 15 plus years ago, because you're going to understand diet and exercise and stress reduction and toxin removal and rest and sleep protocols, emotional balance, scientifically based supplements, as well as the success mindset to helping clients and yourself get those best results. So whether you're doing it just to become the health coach in your own home and for your family, or you want to develop this into a full practice, whether it's part-time or full-time, we invite you during the month of July to head on over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org for more details, and even just to hop on a complimentary call and learn more about it. So head on over there, download the brochure, and we hope to be speaking with you soon. All right, one more item before we dive into the full show, and that is, and it really is talking about one of these new products that we've been developing over the last, this is about 6 months, is our Daily Mushroom Blend. The Daily Mushroom Blend was something I've been looking to create for a while. The problem is, again, the issue is this. I'm always looking to promote other people's products, and I've recommended mushroom products, if you go back on the podcast, for a long time now. But I wanted to create a mushroom blend that was going to be able to solve a lot of issues in just one product. Now, the problem is, if you want a product that helps with a lot of different issues at a foundational basis, you need to put a lot in there. I mean, you can't just have a dusting like a lot of companies do. And again, it's not like disrespect, it's just our practice is different. Our practice is built on results. People come to us saying, this is basically my last stop. This is, you have to help me with this, this, and this. And we take advantage of that opportunity. We want to help you with that. We say, listen, we've been there ourselves. Like, let us help you. We want to help you. And so, we really relish in the opportunity to be able to say, listen, we know that you're skeptical. We know that you've been in this position before. Let us help you. And so when I create products, it's not just typically like even our balanced zinc. It's not just zinc or even zinc and copper. We're putting some B6 in there, some vitamin C, which are the synergists, and all of that just takes careful planning. But our mushroom blend is 9 different types of mushroom, all at 225 milligrams. That means this is a big dose. This is a clinical dose. This is a real dose of healing-based mushrooms. We have reishi, chaga, lion's mane. We have cordyceps, maitake, shiitake, agaricus, and turkey tail. That's 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 blends. There's one other type of the reishi as well, because there's multiple reishi in there. And this is a product, again, that I developed. Here's why. First and foremost, we wanted to help boost and balance your immune system. So it's not just always about boosting your immune system, it's actually balancing it. I started using things like reishi, maitake, and shiitake a number of years ago, and I did it for allergies. I did it for inflammation in my body. I am someone that definitely leans towards that Th2 side of the immune system, and reishi has been shown to be fantastic with viruses and other issues like that. For energy, I wanted to add chaga and cordyceps. For endurance, chaga and cordyceps as well. For brain clarity, I could use another capsule right now. Lion's mane. Again, it is a fantastic mushroom for brain clarity. Inflammation, all All of these are helping with overall healthy inflammation of the body, and healthy levels of blood sugar and cardiovascular is the agaricus mushroom that a lot of people have not even seen. So we list all the scientific research over at equi.life/products/mushroom immune support. So the easiest thing is go to equi.life, type in mushroom blend or daily mushroom immune support, which is the name of the product. You'll find it there. We can't link it up in the show notes, unfortunately, because the powers that be, namely the FDA and FTC, do not allow us to do that. And that's okay. So that is that. Check it out. Can't recommend enough. It just debuted this week, and I'm sure we have some amazing offer going on with our EquiLife team over at equi.life. All right, podcast recap for the week. Motivation and Mindset Monday this week was transforming your life, getting to that next level of success using the Rakoff effect. So definitely check out that show. A really fantastic blending of like NLP, hypnosis, mindset, subconscious. Really fun show to take people through. On episode 1970. 1971 was all about basically the most underrated B vitamin there is, and that's vitamin B6, and the 9 big benefits associated with B6. You don't want to miss that one, and I even give you the daily dosages I personally use myself and how I use it. Let's see. Episode 1972 was the approved foods to eat on a low mold diet. A lot of people have been asking for a follow-up show. They know the foods not to eat. Well, what foods can you eat? So we go over those on 1973. Let's see, that was 1972. I apologize. 1973 was how to figure out your ideal healthy weight. And this is a 3-part. So basically inside of that episode, I take you through your healthy body fat, give you an online calculator, even if you don't have body fat calipers, which is actually really accurate. Then I have a BMI calculator, and then I have an ideal weight calculator. So it's really unique. And you'll see with my own weight, I give you my own weight, I give you my own height, all my different stats, my own body fat percentage. And you'll see that for my height, there's actually a 40-pound swing. So that's why there is no one ideal weight for any body type. So go check that out. That was episode 1973, stephencabral.com/1973. And all podcasts can always be found at stephencabral.com/podcasts. You will be able to find all of those. All right, our product review of the week is going to be Inositol. So Inositol is a product that we have been recommending from all sorts of different companies. And all we wanted to do was basically give you the best of the best, which here's why. Most people who use Inositol that have blood sugar dysregulation, meaning they have higher fasting levels of glucose, whether it's after a meal, 2 hours later, or first thing in the morning. How do you check that? Simple glucometer, right? Simple. Or even better, you run what's called the stress hormones, mood, and metabolism test. On that lab, it will show your morning insulin and your hemoglobin A1C, okay? If your morning insulin is above a 6, we use Inositol, especially if it is a female suffering from higher levels of androgens like testosterone, above a 35 or 40, or symptoms of high testosterone, because you are not your lab test. You do need lab testing, but you can also look at the person and understand their story. And that's what really functional medicine is all about as well, and integrative health. So if you have oily skin, or you have acne, or you're starting to get thinning hair on the top of your head, or you have you're feeling more anger or aggression, all of these things we would also take into account as well for weight gain, bloating, water retention for using Inositol. So that's when we use it. It really helps women especially with higher levels of insulin, blood sugar dysregulation, and higher levels of androgen, any PCOS-based issues. Now, keep in mind, this is not a cure. Let me give you the disclaimer. We are not here providing nor saying that Inositol is a medical advice, medical treatment, a cure or diagnosis for PCOS. So just sharing that with you, but I can tell you that in clinical practice, we get amazing results using this. Of course, not the only thing. A lot of people like to say, oh, just use this. No, it's not the only thing. You can never just use that, right? You'll probably use other things such as estrogen balance, magnesium, Inositol, daily nutritional support, like at a minimum, right? But Inositol, it can be a game changer, like an absolute game changer for fertility, PMS, PCOS issues, and a lot of insulin to testosterone issues in women. I will give you more information to check out, and the best way to check it out is go to equi.life and just type in inositol, and you will find it. Again, this is a clinical dosage. This is 1.6 grams of inositol, and you are taking 2 capsules in the morning and 2 capsules at night for 3,200 grams over the day. And this is very important, we give you 100 milligrams of alpha lipoic acid per serving. Very few other people do that, and here's why. Alpha lipoic acid, amazing at helping with blood sugar. For many years in Europe now, they've used alpha lipoic acid for a lot of type 2 diabetics. Again, not saying it's a treatment or medical-based cure, but it works, and you can check out those medical scientific studies, and we also link those up on the page as well. All right, that is it for those product-based reviews. I want to give you my book review of the week, which is The Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Fung. This book has been out for a little bit. I've listened to Jason's work, Dr. Fung's work, for a little while now. Let's say about, maybe I've learned about him 18 months ago or so. This book came out sometime in 2016, so a few years old. It's really become, let's say, a little bit more popular now. And the reason is that Dr. Fung has done a lot more podcasts, a lot more speaking, and a really intelligent doctor, a medical doctor as well. So overall, I can tell you that it was a great book, excellent book. It's about 300 pages long, lots of scientific studies, really talks about, that a calorie is not just a calorie, speaking about fiber, why it's important, really looking at things from an overall unbiased perspective, which of course I love. Dr. Fung's not saying you have to completely eliminate carbohydrates. So overall, I like it. Here's the issue though. A lot of these books, and I'm not saying this to be negative or disparaging in any way, because Dr. Jason Fung is brilliant, but they give diets, and again, they do it for the general population because they want this book to be for everyone. And I get it, and I understand why they're doing it, to become a bestseller and all these different things. However, it makes it hard for me then to recommend this for a lot of people. And here's why. Like this, for example, is the 24-hour fasting protocol. So basically what Dr. Fung is recommending, I don't do this in my practice. I think that this is difficult to maintain in the long term. I think there are easier ways than doing this, but again, I'm not going to talk about that for today. Basically, every other day is a 24-hour fast from dinner the night before to dinner that night. But then on your fast day, you have water, you can have coffee, you can have green tea, you can even have a little bone broth he goes into. And then you can have a normal dinner that night, which is typically a protein, some healthy fat, and maybe some vegetables. But on the other days, you're having breakfast. But the breakfast, again, I just want you to listen to this. It's, all bran buds with milk. So it's like cereal and milk. I know it's like a whole grain brand, but I can't really get behind that. And mixed berries. And then another day is like breakfast sausage and bacon and 2 eggs. And we know that processed food and processed meat can lead to cancer. Now, I'm not saying all meat, but what I am saying is processed sausage and meat and processed bacon, we know, and we've known this now for about 20 years, leads to greater levels of cancer. Like processed meat is one of the top 10. That's beyond a shadow of a doubt. It leads to cancer. There's just no doubt about it. Is everybody going to get cancer that eats breakfast sausage? No, but it's certainly not an ideal breakfast. But again, I don't want to nitpick overall. What I would say is I think that the information in this book is great, very, very helpful. You will certainly learn a lot, but I just don't love the actual follow through on the diet plan. That's just me. But again, it's only one man's opinion, so hopefully that's helpful. Good book, lots to learn in it. And again, I think you can still substitute even healthier foods if you choose to follow that diet plan. All right, let's go over our research for the week. We've got 2 big ones, and this is, if you've been in the natural health world, you already have known this for a while, that Splenda, aka sucralose, is a ticking time bomb waiting to happen because it's a man-made artificial sweetener. You basically took sugar right? Sucrose, made it sucralose by essentially exchanging a molecule, one molecule for chlorine. Not ideal. Okay. So you might say, no big deal. It's just one molecule and it's zero sugar and all these different things. Well, here's the issue, right? Here's the issue. You exchanged it for chlorine and you made it a man-made chemical that your body was not used to seeing. So what is that going to lead to? It's always going to lead to disaster. I mean, it's like we have to learn this. We have to learn our lessons. So here's the latest findings. This is a direct quote. These findings, well, here's what they found. Basically, it led to tumor growth, cancerous tumor growth. So cancerous tumor growth that exponentially grew the more you fed the mouse. This is done in mouse studies. The more you fed the mouse Splenda, the more tumors and the larger the tumors became. The less Splenda, the less tumors and the less large they grew. They still grew, but not as large. So this is exponential with the amount of Splenda that you were using. So, I mean, also the risk of leukemia in male mice also significantly increased, especially at higher dosages. And the direct quote was, "These findings do not support previous data that sucralose is biologically inert." Probably done by the sucralose-based companies or funded by them. More studies are necessary to show the safety of sucralose, including new and more adequate carcinogenic bioassay on rats. Considering that millions, not millions, more like a billion people are likely exposed, follow-up studies are urgent. And I would say, you think so? Again, but the natural health field has been saying this forever. If you want 0 calorie, use something like a monk fruit or a stevia. I mean, like, again, don't use a lab-created artificial sugar. So that's really disturbing because, again, your average person that's not listening to health-based podcasts or reading books and all these things, you know, they're just not getting this information. There's no way they heard about this, I'm sure, as well. So please pass it along. All right, second research study. Women exposed to higher levels of air pollution during pregnancy have babies who grow unusually fast in the first months after birth, putting on excess fat that puts them at risk of obesity and related diseases in life. This is super important. Here's why. The leading causes of mortality are cardiovascular disease, stroke and high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and cancer. I'm telling you right now, if you don't get one of those, you'll live an extra 10 years most likely alone. So instead of dying the average age of 75, you'll live to 85 if you just don't get those. And I am all for individual body types. We talked about that earlier in the week. However, the more overweight that you are, the more increased risk for cardiovascular disease, stroke and high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, and cancer. So I just want people to live a long, healthy life. That's my goal. And the closer you are to your ideal body weight, the less chance of that. Well, we now know that mothers exposed to toxicity, such as air pollution, leads to here's the direct quote. We found that greater exposure to prenatal ambient air pollution was associated with greater change in weight and adiposity or fatness in the first 6 months of life, meaning that babies put on more body fat, leading to all sorts of potential juvenile diabetes, type 2 diabetes, etc. Later in life. So, you know, it's really too bad to see. And again, how many moms do you know that know about toxicity? Most people just, again, they make fun of the idea of toxicity, and it's simply because they don't want to accept it. But I'm telling you right now, if you're listening to this show, you can do something about it. You can do your functional medicine detoxes. You can share it with others. It's one of the healthiest things that you can do. You basically take a lot of what was talked about in the Obesity Code and you make it simpler. You do a 2-day liquid-based fast. Then you get into your healthy whole foods, that are really based on good, colorful whole foods and whole food science as well. So it's up to us. It really is. This is why I implore you, again, continue to share these shows with anybody you believe they can serve. Become an integrative health practitioner, even if it's just for yourself and everyone in your home that you can help. So really, let's keep moving this forward. We need to be sharing this with other people because it's out there. The truth is out there. It's just a lot of times it's not in front of your everyday person. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing weekend. I know I'll be enjoying my time with family and friends, and I hope you do the same. Take care.